Welcome to Dr. Mary Travel Best's 5 Steps to Solo Travel Guide for people like you who need extra support traveling one at a time. Please share these ideas and add your own. Your feedback and travel questions are so welcome. In this episode, the FAQ is from you, my listeners. They asked, how do I check for the weather where I'm going? Today's destination is Delhi, India, Part 1. And today's misstep, I was stuck in India and missed the bus. And then the travel advice, ask a group of people for directions. So here's the FAQ. People ask me, how do you get the most reliable weather forecast for where you're going? So here's a few tips for you on how to do that. Use apps like AccuWeather, weather.com, Windy, or local services with hourly and long-range forecasts, radar maps, and severe weather alerts for more local alerts. You can also sign up for location-based apps on Google Weather or MyRadar and look for seasonal patterns that are already known. Goa, India has monsoons from June to September, for example, and I found out when I got there. Wind and rain forecasts like windy.com will tell you the wind and wave conditions, especially to help with beach plans. Check for cyclone warnings in places like coastal India. And now, my destination, Delhi, India, Part 1. So my visit to Delhi, or New Delhi, India, which is it? New Delhi you use when you're referring to the specific district that serves as India's capital. New Delhi is a planned city developed during British rule and officially designated as the capital in 1931. Delhi refers to the larger metropolitan area, encompassing both New Delhi and other historical and residential parts like Old Delhi, which includes the Red Fort and Jama Masjid. When speaking broadly about the city and its culture, Delhi is the correct term, so we will use that here. After 2 weeks in India, visiting 4 other southern cities, I flew north to Delhi from Goa, barely missing those seasonal monsoons. And I had a female co-pilot on my flight who said hello to me with a big smile. That made me really happy to see a woman pilot there. The flight attendants checked my boarding tickets. And here's this, they also checked them getting off the plane. That was a first. Who checks them getting off the plane? Should I take a bus, train, or taxi to Agra? I was still not sure. Even after arriving in Delhi, I was overwhelmed with the decision, but I knew I had to get there. The taxi was at least 6,000 rupees each way, maybe more. It sounded like a lot, but it was only $72 US. The bus or the train may be best, they told me. So now the temperatures were about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I also thought about heat stroke and how that would affect me. So here are a few places that I would recommend in Delhi to visit over 3 days. So historic, Day 1 in Old Delhi. Day 2 would be heritage and spiritual, and Day 3, museums, art, and gardens. So let's talk about Day 1, the Red Fort. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's a symbol of Mughal power. It costs $6 for foreigners, takes about 2 to 3 hours, and it's 30 minutes from central Delhi by metro or taxi. And now Jama Masjid, India's largest mosque. Rich in Mughal architecture, it's a free visit and a nominal fee for photography. It takes about 1 to 2 hours, and it's walking distance from the Red Fort. And last is the Chandi Chowk, the historic market with traditional Indian shops, street food, and it's also free, but you could budget some money for food and shopping. It takes about 2 hours, and it's walking distance from the last destination. Now for Day 2. You could go to Qutub Minar. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's India's tallest minaret, and the cost is about $7 US. It takes about an hour and a half, and it's between 30 to 45 minutes from central Delhi by taxi or metro. And then there's the Lotus Temple. That's the iconic Baha'i house of worship, open to all religions. It's free and takes about an hour, and it's 20 minutes from your last destination by taxi or metro. And then there's the India Gate, or it's really hard to say, but I'll try Rashtrapati Bhavan. It's a war memorial, and it's the president's house. It's significant colonial architecture. And again, the cost is free. It would take about an hour or two for a stroll, and the travel time is about 20 to 30 minutes from your last destination by taxi. And now for your third and final day in Delhi, go visit the National Museum. It is India's largest museum showcasing ancient artifacts. And the cost is about $6.50 it's maybe $6 or $7 for foreigners. It takes about 2 hours, and it's 20 minutes from central Delhi by taxi. And then this is one I heard a lot about, Humayun's tomb. I didn't get there this time, but I will go next. It's a UNESCO site, and it's inspiration for the Taj Mahal. And the cost is about the same as the previous one. And the time is about an hour and a half. And it's about 15 minutes in travel from the National Museum, the last destination. And then finally, on day 3, the Lodhi Gardens. This is tranquil gardens with Mughal tombs. Again, cost is free, takes about 1 to 2 hours, and it's 10 minutes away from the previous destination. And that summarizes a 3-day travel to Delhi. Now let's talk about my misstep. I got stuck in India and missed the bus. So the traffic on the way to the Agra bus stop was halted that Monday morning. It meant that I had to get out of the car and walk to the station. Only it was not really a station. It was under an underpass in a busy part of town, and the bus was hidden behind a bunch of trucks, and it left without me early. The family that was hosting me in Agra was so kind. They chased down the bus for me, and I finally was able to get aboard. That was a hairy ride. So my advice, leave much earlier than you think you need to when you're in India. I made many mistakes, but you don't have to. And now today's travel advice, ask a group of people for directions. Don't be afraid to ask for directions if you're not certain. Make eye contact with one who may be in a group, then ask for help. Now, if they can't help you, maybe someone in the group can. Don't be shy if you're not sure. I want to bring meaning to your future travels, so sign up for the Dr. Travel Best newsletter. Let's connect on my social media, and you can find 5 Steps to Solo Travel. It's a series on Amazon. The show notes have more details for you to connect. If you support this podcast with a review, I'd be so pleased. Thank you.
What's on your travel bucket list? Tell the doctor and her team of women who travel the world seeking the very best. Dr. Travel Best, that is.